Kane, it's 1-0. We're fucking down. 13th in the championship. The takeover happened, as I said it would. People will be... Oh, when have we got Leeds? And breathe, folks. Now then, people, and welcome back to the Just Joe Football Show for your fourth offing of the day. This time it's your post-match reaction to Leeds United. Leeds United 3, Hull City 1. We didn't make it easy, did we? It wasn't easy. I would argue we weren't great. Well, everyone knows. I don't need to argue it. We weren't great tonight. We will be talking about Pat. You know I back him. As soon as he missed, obviously everyone's in my mentions. Told you. He misses a sitter, and that's what then means. It gives Hull City a boost, doesn't it? It gives Hull City a boost. What we have done there for me though tonight is like drawn a line under Hull City's chances of the playoffs, which I love to see. Look, they were good. They were better than us. They kept the ball really well without creating like loads of goal-scoring opportunities, if we're being honest, but they did keep the ball really well. I'm just having a look at some of the stats. Yeah, I mean, our XG's 3. Theirs is 0.56. So the stats will tell a different story. You know, we had 14 shots, 6 on target. They had 11, 2 on it. So in actual fact, when you deep it, was it all that? But yeah, Joe Senior, like he says, XG of about 3. We weren't great, but still did enough to deserve the 3 points. Definitely. We don't make it easy for ourselves. But this is the thing, you know, I know on the face of it, but ultimately we've come through with 3 points, and that is all that matters. When you think about it, you know, we've got 4 points over Easter. Big up to Lee Gunner, by the way, for sending over the raid. Legend, man, love you. We've got 4 points over Easter, which is notoriously not a great period for us. You consider it with our rivals. Ipswich, they got 6. Leicester got 3. Southampton got 1, and we got 4. We're doing all right. We're doing all right, people, and that's the most important thing. Bamford misses a sitter. You know, Bamford misses a sitter. It's not great, I can't lie. Joseph came on and made himself... You know, he was busy. He put himself about. The first goal, again, for me, is all about Rutter. Rutter's a phenomenal player. You know, Rutter is phenomenal. Although the rest of the game, he tended to be pretty quiet. But in that moment, he was fantastic. The left-hand side always seems to create opportunities for us. You know, it comes across Byram on his head, then it's in the back of the net. It's 1-0. Obviously, they score. I've even forgot who scored their goal. Carvalho, wasn't it? Again, across. Gets across Ampadu. I think everyone's napping, to be honest, and Tyler Morton does really well and gets the cross, and Carvalho gets across his man. But listen, Leeds United have scored in the 88th and the 97th minute. It's a definite pen. There's a shout for 3 more, you could argue. There's a shout for 3 more that could have easily been given. One on Gray, another one on James, and that one on Somerville. But the third one was definitely not in doubt. And obviously Somerville dispatches it, which I don't like, by the way. I don't like what happened. You know, pick the penalty taker. I think Pirro is that guy. Somerville wants to be that guy, but he was... You know what? Somerville scored it. I shouldn't really mourn, but ultimately, I think Somerville scored it. That's the main thing. Big up to Lee, by the way, who says, I've done 6 championship watch-alongs this weekend and every game has been mad. Premier League is dog shit, just marketed well. Proper games with both teams trying to play football and no VAR. Big up to Lee. Yeah, it was mad. We won. That's what we... You know, that's the main thing. I'm just buzzing. It keeps promotion automatic, hopes alive. Jaden Philogene. Someone's just said there, Clash King. Philogene's gone missing. Sam Byron put him in his pocket tonight. And he's a great player, by the way. But Sam Byron pocketed him tonight. I thought Sam Byron at right back was great. So, you know, he was great. The midfield didn't really work. Gray and Kamara over the 90 minutes, I don't really think. But yeah, Somerville balls. Massive cojones. I don't like to see what went on, but he scored it, and that's all that matters. And then Dan James with an absolute barnstormer. Of course, no keeper, but you can't tell me that James last season or earlier on in the season makes that chance. He just I don't know. There's something about. Normally, I'm like, fucking hell, it's an open goal and he's shot it near corner flag or something. But that one, it just nestled into the back of the net. And Leeds United win 3-1. So happy days. Now let's go on over and get some more content creators in. We've got Joe Blackburn and Owen James from Leeds United Nation, and a new podcast. How you all doing? Hope you're all doing well. Let me go to you, Joe. Come on, talk to me, mate. Can you breathe? Are you nervous? What's the deal?
Everything hurts, and I don't know if I love or despise this football team. It's somewhere in that range, and I can't work out where. Because the number of times in that match, I just thought, why don't we just play the easier pass? Or we've seen you make that ball every single time all season, and it just wasn't playing off. And then, like sort of always happens with this Leeds United side, you just need that one little bit of magic, that one little bit of, oh, okay, now it works. And then suddenly everything starts to click, and we turn what looks like a fairly miserable 1-1 that we might not necessarily win into 3-1. And I'm quite happy with that. Yeah. Sod it. It'll do.
Yeah, it'll do, won't it? It will. Let me go on over to Owen now. Welcome, Owen. Tell me your thoughts on the game, mate. Can you hear us?
Oh, do you know, actually, seriously, I felt so, second half, I felt so physically sick near the end. The nerves, and just, like Joe says, you don't know whether to love them or hate them. It was just so, I felt like ripping my hair out. I ended up looking like you, Joe, without any hair, I'll tell you, after that. But, no, I think it just shows it's those individual moments of class that we've got. The penalty that Somerville creates with his pace when he runs into the area, and you've got to say that's a really ridiculous tackle their man makes, thank God. And I didn't like the arguing over who took the penalty, but I thought Somerville showed absolute massive balls for taking that and doing what he did and waiting for the keeper to go down and put it in the back of the net. And Dan James scoring, I think what they're calling the NHL an empty netter. I just, again, calm, personified, but I don't know. I'd love to know what my heart rate was during that second half, because I'm sure it was off the charts.
Yeah, man, it was mental, weren't it? It was mental, but we never do it the easy way. This is the thing. I don't know what the record shows, though. Like, it's been seven years since we've won on Easter Monday, I believe. Is that right? Or 7 games where we haven't won on Easter Monday whilst in the Championship. So at least we've got rid of that hoodoo tonight. We beat a very good Hull City side. So, yeah, listen. Dotsy puts a super chat in and says, remember when Farker said to look at the table with 6 games left? This is why I love this game. We are in second. Happy days, we are in second. He said, I hate it at the same time, Joe. Who starts, Bamford or Joseph? MJ for me. We will talk about Bamford in a sec, but before we do, let me bring in my good man, Lockie. Wow, that hair's looking fresh, bro. Have you got a hood on, or is it just grown over? I don't know. Oh, there you go.
I'm sad to get me fod out for you, Joe.
Yeah, talk to me, bro. How you feeling, man?
I'm in the bin, mate.
Yeah, it was bad, wasn't it? It was mad.
I've never been so angry in a game, just for many reasons. Oh, it was horrible. But I think every game's going to be like that. Because I don't know what to say, mate. I'll be honest. I'm in the bin right now. My voice is going again. But yeah, teams are finding a way to win at the top, and we're part of that. I think that's what we showed.
Yeah.
Good game. Hull are a good side when they play. There's some good key battles that we lost. There were some key battles I thought we won. But all in all, we scored 3 goals again, because that's what we do. We score goals when we need to. And that's the end of it. We won 3-1. And the players, and I was watching the reactions. That's why I'm a bit late from the players and that meant everything. They were on the floor, you know. They know that's a huge moment for us. Yeah. They feel like we feel. You can tell it's been one of them games, can't you? This is, lovely times.
Yeah,
I guess.
Exactly. And do you know what, though, Lockie? Like, to come through Easter with 4 points when you consider what the rest have done, it's not that bad, is it, really?
Sure.
Win away, win at home. Sorry, draw away, win at home, right?
Yeah, and the lack of, and I'm sure Parker will mention this, he already has in his previous, the lack of training is important. That's how you prepare for games. And I think we had one training session with the full squad before the previous game. And even that, the Welsh guys were not in it. They were doing individual training. So you're missing your core of your side. You can't prepare for the opponents, and that's a key part of it. You don't know what, you need to prepare for your opponents. And this one has been, maybe 2 full days of training? Yeah. Like, with all them internationals and the injuries, I know it's the same for everyone, but we've had a lot of internationals and injuries, which hasn't helped at all. And you could definitely tell in today's performance and the other day, that wasn't a team that looked really certain of what they were meant to do at all times. I just thought, looks a little lost at times, but does it matter right now?
No, it don't. JT, you shook your head there. You don't think it matters, does it? It's just about 3 points, baby.
Oh, but it matters big time. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Matters big time. My heart matters, all right? I'm only 23. I want to make it past my 30s. Thank you very much. So, yeah, it does matter big time. I don't want heart palpitations. I don't want I don't want any of those problems that they're causing me. So, yeah, it was, to be honest, if you're asking for my opinions on the match, I thought it was quite diabolical at times, if I'm being honest with you. Really, we can gloss over it with the win, yes, but the actual performance was poor. I think we looked quite nervous, quite tentative. The midfield battle, we were getting bypassed a hell of a lot that game.
Seri, very good player, Seri, by the way.
Very good player, but again, it's not that he was necessarily great. It was more, there was just too many gaps, and I felt like Leeds weren't even using our own midfield. It's like we didn't trust it. Every time Ampadu or Rodon were getting the ball, they were just trying to pepper it straight to one of the front three, and it was going straight back to Hull. So can I blame Archie Gray and maybe even Kamara for getting overrun when we're giving the ball straight to them time and time and time again, and they're coming straight at us? I know we'll probably get into that and maybe a little bit more in depth. And overall, listen, we got the winner in the end. We got the winner. And there's one thing I want to talk about in particular later on with that. But we got the winner. We won the game. So in the end of the day, no, it doesn't matter. And in fact, maybe I'm even happier at the way it went. Because if it was just a comfortable 2-0 win, I think I'd still have that Ipswich game in the back of my head. Yeah. You know what I mean? But the fact that we won it dramatically,
you're going to bed happy, aren't you? You're going to bed happy. Yeah, exactly.
I needed that adrenaline surge at the end, and me on the edge of my seat to try and just get that Ipswich game out of my head, because I think that's what made us so negative going into it. Is we're going off the back of them scoring a last-minute winner, and we're all down before the game's even started. So I think we kind of needed that, and to see Ellen Road erupt at the end, I think those kind of variables are so important in football. Yeah,
they are. Let's talk about some of the stuff. Joe, I'll come to you. The midfield, Gray, Kamara, JT touched on it there. Do you think that works? Do you think it's something that's serviceable while Gruyev's out, or is it like we need to get Gruyev back ASAP?
I miss Gruyev so much.
Yeah,
you can tell how much he is someone that is able to just break up play almost effortlessly. He's got the running that the other players in that midfield don't have. He's got sort of the positional awareness of an Ampadu along with the legs of a Dan James, and that makes him sort of the perfect defensive midfielder to just sort of, if he needs to, he'll just kick someone. If he needs to move to receive a pass, he'll just do that. Whereas Gray is admittedly still on the young side, so he's not going to quite have that like game sense to him yet. Yeah. Kamara, not quite as mobile, but I think getting Gruyev back will make a big difference. I think we need to make a decision whether or not in the coming games, if Gruyev misses any more, we decide to sacrifice the midfield like we did today, or we sacrifice the centre-backs. And we made different decisions in the Watford match and in this match, and in both of them we sort of struggled a little bit. But it's just sort of which one gives us a struggle that we end up winning in the end is the choice that we have to make, I think.
Do you have any thoughts on the midfield, Lockie, mate?
Yeah, I think one thing, if we're sticking with that partnership, I'm glad we've got a few more days to work on it. That's key. Agreeing that 6, I just think it looked a little lost. Kamara looked lost. Yeah, I think that with a new partnership in central midfield, it's difficult to kind of understand each other where you should be at every moment. You know, when a team plays out from the back like we do so much, you have to be spot on with your movement. And again, like the other day, I don't think there was enough in there. I think it screams for me, if we are staying with that, that is obviously something we'll be working on all week, I'm sure, because the last 2 games of the midfield, we've lost the battle now in each one. And let's be real, the players we've got in that midfield are really good. They are really good. They've dominated games in the past. It's just about understanding the partnership. And if we're sticking with that one, we've got a few more games now. We've actually got time to train, which is key. And if they're both fit and ready to go, that's a good week, or however many days it is. A week or something like that. I can't remember. It's a few
Saturday, mate. Saturday we play.
Oh, yeah, brilliant. Yeah. So yeah, happy with that.
Ipswich Norwich play lunchtime though, so at least that one's before us.
Yeah, good. But yeah, like I said, we're going to have to go with it. That's the partnership we've got, I believe. I think.
Yeah.
What can we do? Strout's out. Ampadu will be staying in centre back, I presume. So that's what we've got at this point, I think.
Yeah. We've got to talk about Bamford now, because obviously I've said he should be starting, and then naturally straight away he misses a sitter, which it's a sitter. You can talk about bouncers, bobbles, whatever, but a striker should be scoring from that position for me, even if you just throw your fecking body at it. But that's just my opinion, and straight away people were in my mentions. I'm like, come on, man, just at least wait till the end of the game before you come for me, at least. But Owen, I'm going to come to you, mate. What did you make to Bamford's performance overall? And are we do we now, those who want Bamford to start, do we have to concede and say, you know what, actually, yeah, Mateo probably deserves that starting berth now? Where do you lie with that one, Owen?
Yeah, I mean, that chance that he missed, I mean, if that goes in 2-0, it's a different game. It's a completely different game. But it was a shocking miss. It was just, I mean, yeah, it does bounce just before him. But like you say, Joe, forwards should be putting those in the back of the net. To me, I mean, I can see why Bamford is decent up front, because he works the back four. He has got that a bit of expertise, and you can kind of argue that maybe Mateo Joseph is good coming on. He's coming on against tired defenders, so he has that little bit of an advantage there. But he's just offers a little bit more, I think. He's a little bit more lively. He just gets around a little bit more. He's a bit more of a poacher. That chance that hit the post, really unlucky. He's in there poaching. I'd be inclined, the Coventry game is going to be a tough game on Saturday. I would be inclined to give Joseph the start in that game. If it doesn't work out, you put Bamford back in. But I just think that they're a good team. I know they lost today, but they've proven in the FA Cup they're a decent side. So for me, I just think Joseph offers you a little bit more, and he's got that poacher instinct that we need.
100%. I think that's a fair shout. JT, have you got any thoughts, bro?
Yeah, well, I mean, I find it very difficult to say off the back of Bamford missing a sitter that I should put Joseph in the team when Joseph missed a worse sitter, in my opinion. That was even worse of a miss. Because if you look at the Bamford one, I was very critical of it, and it's basically the same miss that he did last year at Leicester, wasn't it? It's literally identical. Yeah. But it does look like Giles maybe got a slight nick on the ball just before he struck it, which maybe added pace to it. Joseph's miss, I mean, come on, how did he hit the post from there? He was on the complete other side of the goal. He's almost gone too far in the corner there. He should have just calmly slotted that in there. So I wouldn't say that's the particular reason. What I would say Bamford still does do over Joseph is his hold-up play. If I look at the last 10 minutes there, after we score the penalty and we're all cacking our pants thinking, let's just get a bit of control of the ball a little bit. Let's calm things down. We had no one to make it stick up there. And that's what Bamford does do. At least he gives you a little bit of an option to chest the ball down. He's got a good hold-up play. He can tie others into the game. So I think that's potentially an area that Joseph needs to work on. Yeah. I would have liked to see Joseph come on earlier, and I'm not going to again lambast him for one miss as well. The same with Bamford. No, yeah. I would have liked to see him come on earlier. Would I start him over Bamford? Still not yet. I think for me, you've got to put him on 45th minute, though, 50th minute, depending on the game. And it all depends on our opposition and how we want to play. Because if we're going to play long ball games, if we're going to play just trying to ping the ball in behind and not actually really create anything, then yeah, Joseph's your man because he's got a lot more pace and dynamism in behind. His diagonal runs are very, very good. But if you actually want to tie the wingers into the game, especially if a player like Wilfred Gnonto is back on the pitch, then I think Bamford is a lot better suited to that because Bamford will drop a bit more deep. It allows Gnonto to cut inside when he plays. He can occupy that position. And I feel like he kind of flows to the mesh of the team around him a little bit more. But I think what you got to do is a combination of the two. And you got to look at it this way. Very simple for me. Who's better at starting and who's better at coming off the bench? Bamford's not an impact player. Doesn't really come off the bench and change games too much. Joseph's a great impact player. Comes off the bench with great pace and dynamism and changes it. Who's better at starting games? Joseph, relatively unproven in that area. Bamford, very good at starting games, at winding up defenders and really setting a tempo and pace for the game. So that would be the way I look at it.
I think that's a great answer, mate. I think that is a fantastic answer, and I'm nodding along there, for sure.
No, Adam.
Hey?
No, Adam. You can say for sure.
All right. No worries. Joe Blackburn, you're a massive Bamford fan as well. I bet when you seen that miss, you're a bit like me. You were like, oh no, why? Like, where do you? Because the calls for Joseph to start now will be even louder. And I agree with what Owen said. If Bamford does score that chance, we win that game comfortably. We win it comfortably.
Yeah.
And obviously, had we not won that, the criticism of Bamford be even louder. I'm sort of glad that we won it in the end for his sake. But where do you stand on it?
There's a couple of ways of looking at it. There's the first way, which is show me a single striker that's never missed a sitter. And maybe we can get them to start. But I don't think they exist. I think this season alone, we've seen the likes of Haaland miss worse. That happens. Sometimes you'll kick a ball wrong and it'll go to the moon. But then you have to look at the statsy side at the same time and say, well, he's still outperformed his XG this season so far. And he's still scoring at a fairly good rate. And he's still creating opportunities for the people around him. And he's still dragging defences all over the shop. I don't think Mateo Joseph gets that chance if Bamford hasn't been doing like the hard running work beforehand. And I do see the argument that, yeah, maybe Mateo Joseph should get more minutes, but those minutes have to be off the bench. Because I think when you've got a situation where you've got Bamford who is working really effectively every time, and he might not put the ball in the back of the net, but he had one chance. And that's going to happen. Occasionally you're going to miss a chance. Rutter misses chances by significantly further every single week, and everyone just goes, you're a silly guy, because he does other parts of the game just as effectively. He does the really good dribbling stuff. Bamford's good stuff is just off the ball. It's less visible, so people notice it less, so people scream about it less. More, the other way around. So you end up with the argument for Joseph starting, but as JT mentioned, I think Joseph off the bench clearly has worked really well, and Bamford starting has also worked really well since his first start this season. We've not lost yet, other than at Chelsea, which he didn't start either. So I don't see the argument for him not starting, because yes, he missed a chance. Everyone will miss a chance. It's
great. Yeah, and well, I don't want to spend all evening on Bamford, so I'll let Lockie come in a sec. But positive to take. Obviously, it was like throw baby out of the bathwater against after we get a draw, like it was after Huddersfield, and we go on and win tonight. We're still unbeaten. I don't know what's that now. What is it? 15 games unbeaten, I think, with 2 draws in that time. So we've only dropped 4 points in like 15 games, which is absolute insanity. Still unbeaten at home as well. I think I've seen LUFC data put Leeds have now won 52 points at home this season, more than any other championship side in 23-24. What were we all worried about? That's what I'm saying. If we get points away from home and win at home, we will go up. We will go up. I do believe that. Going into Coventry, Lockie, where do you stand on Bamford Joseph? Do you sort of agree with JT and Joe? Because I know we were chatting before and you said it's getting closer, Joseph starting, and maybe tonight might be that. But what I will say, when he did come on, he didn't hold it up great and give away a few free kicks, actually, to be honest, against Coyle and stuff. So where are your heads at?
Yeah, naive in that sense, because the young lads, that's the old dude, don't they? That eagerness to impress, he's kind of overwhelmed by experience. And I think that for me, it's so tough to. People will mention Chelsea, but that's a completely different game. So that was a cup game where Matteo came on, and it's a different environment. You're not in this promotion push where you literally can't drop a point. One mistake, like imagine, I know he didn't, but if that's Joseph on the other end and that misses, or he misses a miss similar to what Bamford did, that could destroy his confidence. I think you want a player to come on, like JT said, in Mateo Joseph, who comes on with that passion and that drive and that energy. If you take that out of the squad, you've not got that option. And that's a good option right now. And we need options. We don't have Nonto on the bench. We're missing Gruev, so we don't have a midfielder on the bench. We're missing options that can impact the game. And like JT said, Bamford coming off the bench, Bamford takes a while to get into games. His experience, that's why you're playing him, isn't as impactful as when Mateo Joseph comes off the bench. And that's credit to Mateo Joseph. But right now, his role in the squad is that player. And he's doing it really well. And I just think it's a risk to change that. We could be 60 minutes into the Coventry game. Mateo Joseph could have been bullied by the 2 centre-backs. Then what? What do we do then? you know, and I think Farke's trying to figure that out. It's definitely a conversation. I like the conversation. I think it's a good one because Mateo Joseph is really talented, and when he comes on, he does all he can in that sense. But I also agree he weren't great when he came on today. He did miss a chance. I don't think it was as easy as things personally, but regardless, he should have scored, right? Let's be honest. He should have scored that.
It's a big chance, though. I'm happy to hear either way. I'm happy to hear either way. And I saw a lot of people in the chat like he was being leaned on and whatever, but listen,
chances, they're both good enough to score them chances. So there's definitely naivety to his game, and I'm just thinking in 90 minutes, I don't think he occupies centre-backs as well as Bamford. Now, what I really liked the other day against Watford was when Joseph came on with Bamford. I thought that worked really well because Bamford did that thing where he occupies centre-backs and they kind of roll over him. Mature Joseph just picks the space behind where Bamford's come short, and it worked 2 or 3 times and he was in. I like that. I like that part of our game. That's a little thing we can mix in there. So there's definitely a conversation there for sure. I'll never deny that. But for me, I just like the impact he has. And I seriously don't want to change that impact because I think he'll have 2 or 3 big more moments from that impact this season. I really do. Yeah,
he's already he gets the equaliser done in thingy and So these are the moments that we want him. But you don't need to rush that. You don't need to rush it. I agree. I agree with you. But I also would. That he's not good enough to start. Yeah.
None of us are saying that, or none of us are all saying that Bamford is the future of the club. This is it's either here or here. There's nothing in between. You can be in between. You can kind of figure both sides out, and that's fine. You don't have to hate him or love him. It's we're having a discussion about the 2 players. That's all we're doing.
I think we would all be whoever starts. We all trust Farke, right? I think that's the thing. You know, you back it.
It's fine.
Randy Leeds says, please for Dan James. Yeah. Looked like he needed that after a difficult few weeks. Pure football chaos at the end. How funny and mad was that last goal? Yeah. Look, I don't think Dan James was great, and I think a lot of it is due to the fact that he is probably in his head because he is a confidence type of player. But that goal there will have done wonders for him. And we need him because without Nonto, we need something on that right-hand side. It's such a shame that Nonto's flying. James, look, at the end of the day as well, we have to take into context. Someone put the comment in earlier, and I can't see it, but the Welsh lads have played 4 games in 11 days, one of them being 120 minutes. You know, so Rodon and Ampadu have played the 2 internationals, then come back and played Friday and Monday. So we have to take all this into consideration and know that for Coventry away, we might have a totally different feel. We might actually... Because let's be honest, Owen, I don't know what you think, but the last 2 games, Leeds have not been anywhere close to the best, have they, mate? I don't know, he's having a few...
So is that...
doing the Hulk Hogan?
That's me.
Yes,
my internet froze.
There's a lag. Yeah, there's a lag,
not. So I don't know what's wrong with the internet there. Am I back on normal now?
Yes, go.
Oh, spot on, 100%. Man. Yeah,
I was saying, we haven't been good the last couple of games. No, we haven't been back. We haven't been at our best the last couple of games. But you know what? It's encouraging because we played poorly Friday night, got a point. Didn't play well tonight, got the 3 points. I know this is a old saying, but that's what champions do.
They do. We're having a few issues with Owen's internet, so there we go. We'll just. I've lost my own train of thought there. That doesn't normally happen. Oliver said he's Owen on the moon. He's somewhere, bro. I don't know where he is though. Right, let's talk about the penalty. Joe Blackburn. How do you feel about it, mate? Because I know it takes massive balls to do what he did, but I'm just like, if you've got to score this. I didn't like it, mate. I don't like that. I don't like that he's done that. No, wait, JT, we'll come to you.
I know.
Yeah. I don't like that he's done it personally. I'm buzzing that he scored it and dispatched it, and he's basically said to the squad, I'm that guy, right? But I just didn't want that, and it adds unnecessary pressure.
Yeah, I was in a really confused spot about it because there was a bit of me that was saying, you could have had this conversation before, lads. You could have had it when Junior Firpo was holding the ball to just hold it and make sure that whoever was actually taking the penalty holds that he didn't get in their heads. Or you could have maybe discussed this in training or something like that. But I think at the end of the day, the decision for Somerville to take the penalty was the better one, because we've seen time and time and time again at various like competitions and the Euros final, for example, when you bring someone on and a minute later they take a penalty having barely touched the ball, that doesn't end well normally, most of the time. So I think Somerville taking it was the right decision. I just really wish that we would have gotten to that decision in a less falling apart kind of way. And also Sly 2.0, if it was up to me, every pen would be Bamford's. Maybe, who knows? But I'm just happy that Somerville took it, because clearly he's feeling himself, clearly he's on form, and absolutely not a problem for me. I mean, the behaviour itself, not great. The outcome, I'll take it. All good.
Exactly, yeah. Square Ball have just tweeted, Pirro actually won man of the match, but Somerville took it off him. Which I like. Come on then, JT, give us your thoughts, mate.
Listen, it's going to be unpopular, I know. I can see the chat flying already. But listen, it goes back to the exact conversation we had on this show about 2 weeks ago, where I was having a big debate with Joe about ego with Rutter. And I said ego is not a bad thing in football. And you touched on there, maybe they should have discussed it before. They did discuss it before. And the discussion was very simple. If Perot's on the pitch, Perot takes penalties. That's the rules of the team. You know, he came off the bench before, took the penalty, won the game for Leeds. But Somerville, listen, if there is one man in that team, if there's one man in the league that has earned the right to do that, it is him. And I strongly disagree with you that you say his actions were wrong. His actions were exactly what you need. There's too many charismaless, plain, boring players in this league that want to give yes, no, boring answers. No, show me a real personality. Show me who you are as a man. Show me the bottle you have. And this guy worked his socks off all Easter weekend, which is a big weekend for him. He's a very religious man, as he's been public about. Huge weekend for him. And he not only scored a worldie against Watford and was our best player by far that game, but today, again, worked his socks off and was one of the few players that I actually thought looked up for this game throughout the duration of the game. He earns the penalty with a brilliant run. He sees Perot walking over and he says, no, hold up just a second there. He punches his chest and he punches the badge at the same time. He points down to the spot. He says, listen, this is my penalty. All right, I am the man. I am the man that is going to get Leeds United promoted. Not you, not anyone else, me. And I know it's side before self, but sometimes for the side to do well, you have to do self before side, because we're all individuals and we all played the game. And sometimes you need to have the bottle. You need to have a little bit of arrogance. You need to have a little bit of delusion about you, where you think you are that man, that you actually become that man. And that's exactly what he was. He said, listen, everybody get out of here. This is my moment. I earned the penalty. I'm the best player on this team. I'm going to be the match winner for Leeds United. And he had the confidence and the arrogance to do it. And you know what? If it goes wrong, it goes horrifically wrong. And he's getting lambasted across the media. So if you do that, it has to go right. And the fact that he knew that in the back of his head, and that he still had the confidence to do that. He still had the confidence that everybody wish they would have in that moment, to say, you know what? I don't care what happens. I don't care if I get screamed at. I'm going to do that for my team and for myself. And that is what you need in football. People criticize him for being too selfish at times on the pitch, but that's why he gets as many goals as he does. That's why he wins games for us, because you need to be selfish sometimes. Sometimes you need to look at your teammate like Mo Salah and be like, you know what, Mane? I'm not going to pass for you. I'm going to go for goal. And that's why Salah and these kind of players are the elite of the elite. And that is why Somerville is the elite of the elite, in my opinion. Bit of a rant. We're a bit of a rant on there. Sorry,
I think it's fair. Like you say, it's fair. And look, there's an argument you could be said it's better that someone who's been on the pitch since forever take a penalty than someone who's rusty anyway. So there is something in that as well. Pirro clearly wasn't unhappy and was pointing over, but the captain got involved. Ampadu went over and Somerville took the pen. So, you know, ideally, Farke will have a word about this after the game, I'd imagine. But, Lockie, how do you see it, mate? I know you work in football. You're still playing football on a regular basis. Like, what's your thoughts?
I was going to mention, we have at uni a player who's literally just like Cree. And he's our best player and he's won as many games. So who's to argue with that player? Look, the coaches will hate it. They'll be annoyed. The players will hate it. But in that changing rooms, everything will be fine. Because every good team has a player like Cree. A player like Cree who has that confidence. And he said in his press conference after the game, he said that It felt like it was going to be my moment. So he said he felt that. So he wanted to take it. And that's it. He showed, right, I'll score. I won't miss. He was convinced he was going to score. And he did. Look, I can see from both sides as an analyst. You kind of get the player perspective and understand that. But then when the coaches are telling you, no, he shouldn't. He's kind of like, well, I get it because he wanted that moment and he had that moment and it probably won us the game. Now, and yeah, there's not, again, it's like people saying selfish. Yeah. Football attacking players are selfish. The best attacking players in the world are selfish. They should pass more. They should not break the rules with penalties. They shouldn't, but they do. And most of the times, the best ones score from it, and you can't deny it. That's the way they are, whether it's right or wrong. And I know Joe, if you're wrong, would be fuming in this, by the way. But Joe understands. He's probably coached players just like that. But if they're bringing the results, look, when they miss it, that's on them. But most of them have the mental capacity to deal with it when they do miss it, and they'll just score 3 in the game after, because that's the type of players they are, right? For them, the upside of these players is a lot higher than the downside that they might bring now and again. Look, he scored the penalty and it won us the game. They'll be over it. Perot will be fine with it. He'll be like, oh, whatever, is what it is. It's fine. Yeah. They're going to do it. Nothing will change them, Joe. Creative players that are the best in the team are like that. They all are. Yeah. And I wouldn't change them either, because that's where their confidence comes from.
Yeah, I think that's fair. Going into Saturday's game, Owen, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Good. Going into Saturday's game, is there anything like that needs to change for you? Obviously, we've come through Easter, busy period. We've got 4 points, which ain't too bad a return when you consider the rest. Is there anything that like needs to change, or is it as simple as getting Gruyev back for you?
I think a couple of things. I think number one is, and I think one of the lads touched on it a bit earlier, training. I mean, it's a big thing. They've had no time together since the international break. There's been nothing on the training park. And I know that top class footballers should be able to just go out and play, but it's like Daniel Farke said, if that was the case, you'd never need to train. You just need to turn up, and that's not that's not how it works. And I know that Farke has got all his ideas, his tactics into them, but you still need time on the training field to form those bonds. Yeah, I think having Gruev back will be massive. Like I said, cover a decent team. I mean, even though I'm Leeds fan, I bloody hate Coventry. I live in the Coventry area, and I'm surrounded by some of their fans, and I absolutely bloody hate them. They're the most deluded bunch on the planet. So I really don't want stick from them if we didn't get a win against them. So, but no, I do think the training is going to be essential this week, and if it is that Gray and Kamara are going to be the centre partnership this on Saturday, you need time for them to work together, to come to more of an understanding, to get their roles more clearly defined. And Daniel Farke can do that. Yes, I do hope Gruev's back, because he does make such a difference. It's like Joe was saying at the start. He breaks up play. He's almost metronomic. He keeps the team ticking over. He keeps that link between defence, midfield, and attack. And he is a huge miss. But I think the training is going to be crucial. It all depends on what the prognosis is with Gruev's injury.
Yeah, no, great. I think that's a great assessment, that, mate, to be honest. Thank you for that. Just looking at this, Joe, as well, I've just seen this tweet from Ben Jacobs. So Ipswich, obviously, 87 points, Leeds 86, Leicester 85. One of us is going to miss out. And the current highest points total for someone to miss out was Sunderland in 96-97, who got 90. Obviously, we've still got 6 games, so whoever is going to miss out is probably going to surpass that. How are you feeling about the promotion race right now, Joe, with 6 games left for us? Leicester have got 7 and Ipswich 6. How are you feeling?
I've been saying since early February that whoever comes third in this promotion race isn't going up through the playoffs.
I agree.
Because that will be absolutely devastating. Mm-hmm. You will have done so well, fought so hard for so long, presumably on 90+ points. There's a world in which all of those 3 teams are on 94-ish points, and one of them doesn't go up. And that squad afterwards will just be shattered and devastated and feeling, frankly, horrific.
Yeah.
So if it is a case of the playoffs, it's not good. But in terms of what I think is going to happen for Leeds United, I don't think that's going to be our problem. Because at the moment, I think we're in a position where, as much as we didn't perform well in this match, think about last time we went up. Did we perform that well at Swansea? No.
No.
Did we perform well against Barnsley? No. But we won. We got the points. and that's what counts. And I don't know what's going to happen at Coventry.
That Barnsley game, oh my God.
That wasn't fun.
Jesus Christ.
No, that was horrific.
Horrible. That was worse than that. That was horrible.
Yeah,
sorry,
it was.
But you know what? We got those 3 points, and they counted just as much as the 3 points against, I think, Derby after we'd already been guaranteed to go up in something like a 4-0 in what was an absolute piece of piss cakewalk, where even, I think, Jamie Shackleton scored a goal. Mm-hmm. What counts is the fact that we've got the points, and currently we've got a team that have like a really strong mentality around them that is always happy to build back into a match even if things aren't going well. And that this is what I'm talking about. The emotions ranging from irritation, frustration, ecstasy, and relief. Our squad seems to be calm throughout all of that, no matter what the crowd is doing, and will eventually get what it needs to get. So I think we'll be all right, to be honest, going into this promotion race.
Good man. Lockie, do you think it is just 2 from 3 now? Do you think Southampton only picking up 1 point over the Easter period has screwed them a little bit? Because they've still got to play Leicester. I think they've still got some tough games as well. So and us on the last day, of course.
I said after this game today with Ipswich, I think that did it. Just because I think us top 3 are not going to drop many points.
No,
I don't think. So I think, honestly, it might be like 1 loss or something like that. I don't think. I think it's going to be really close. I really do. They're probably
do you think
just about...
us? Do you think we'll go up?
I do. I don't know where. I genuinely couldn't tell you where. I have no idea. Just somewhere, please. That's all I care about. But I think we will. I just think we have, like we've shown today, even in difficult moments, we have them unbelievable players that bring you through it. Going to be tough though. Yeah,
looking at this as well, just again, folks, this is another caveat we have to take. So, Daniel Farke, Glenn Kamara's played ill. Joe Rodon played on painkillers due to back spasms. And Sam Byram told Farke at half-time that he couldn't sprint anymore. So, manager, therefore, delighted to come out with a 3-1 win. So, this is, again, all things we have to take into consideration. And maybe that's why Kamara wasn't as good. And listen, Rodon's a rock. Like, if he's played with back spasms, this is what I mean. He's played a hell of a lot of football in 11 days. One of them being 120 minutes. Obviously, Byram as well not being able to sprint. We'll have to watch that second half just to see if he did sprint at any point.
Didn't need to, did he?
No, he didn't, mate. He didn't. They didn't really do much in the second half, Hull City, really, did they? I think it was all... I don't know.
No, they didn't. They controlled a lot of the game. But to be fair, the whole game, like... They controlled a lot of it and they were in dangerous, threatening positions, but I didn't see them create too many clear-cut chances. Like, even when they had, like, at 1.67% possession, Leeds still had the better chances in the game, I'm thinking. Even though we didn't have
Bro, even the stats, like, I think we had, like, 11 shots with 7 on target or something, and they had, like... hardly anything. So you are right.
Probably 4 of them came in that last minute of the second half where we had that pinball action in front of the goal.
Mad. It was mad.
That was horrible.
JT, where are you at, mate? I know you're a bit like me. You'll be positive. Are you confident that we still get promoted automatic? Because I do agree with Joe. Whoever misses out doesn't go up through playoffs, I'm not having it.
They never usually do. No. And listen, we lived that before. We lived that under Bielsa's first year. And actually, I think that could be a positive for Southampton in that I think now they're going to have a little bit more time to settle into the fact that they're going to be in the playoffs because they killed it there. There's not a snowball's chance in hell they're getting top 2. Absolutely impossible now, in my opinion. I think they're out of it. Even though I thought they were the better side, actually, in that Ipswich game. They're way better. I think Ipswich just, again, they just have that way of flipping lucking it out. And whether you call it luck or you call it game management, whatever you want to call it, it's so annoying. And that's why I can't write them out of this in terms of Leeds, Leicester and them. But I'm a lot more confident now than I was before the game. And again, that's just because the emotion of everything overwhelmed me to the point where I was so down after that Ipswich game, but the emotion of being on the edge of my seat here has kind of left me up, which, I'm actually sat here for the last 10 minutes listening to everyone. I'm like, I have a bit of a smile on my face thinking about Leeds. I'm a bit happy and I'm a bit proud again. But overall, I think we will get the job done, mostly because, listen, as you said, when you do put things into perspective and the limited amount of points we've dropped at this point in the season and the fact that we are still undefeated at home in this point in the season. Could you imagine going undefeated at home the entire season and not getting automatic promotion? That would be the most ridiculous scene in footballing history. And, which is why I think it's key we do keep that way. And as you said, with players being injured, the international break, with time that we're going to have before the next game for players to get more fit, to get rid of the back spasms, to get some more fresh legs under them, to get some of the other players that are injured back, the Gruevs, the Nontos. I think we are going to come into a bit of a run, hopefully, by the end of the season. I think this has been our worst patch, and I think it's a patch where everyone started to count us out. We started to count ourselves out and started to get negative, but you're going to have those patches in a title charge or in a promotion battle, whatever it is. And I think, thankfully, we might have got ours out of the way early. Similarly to how we did when we got promoted, actually, the first couple of games, I think then we dropped points to Cardiff. I think we drew against them and we dropped some other points and then went on a run the last 5-6 games. So hopefully that's what I think is going to happen this time. And yeah, I am looking at things with a bit more confidence, thinking, you know what, even today when everyone was, the stands were quite quiet, actually, there was a lot of nervous atmosphere within Ellen Road, and the fact that the players still managed to ride what was a poor performance and steal out a win after Ipswich did what they did, I think that gives me a lot of confidence going forward.
100%, I agree with you. Farkas said Gruev should be back soon. Also, just on the penalty situation, he says Somerville was right to take the penalty. He doesn't want subs taking pens after they've just come on. Therefore, Pirro was stood down. Says James deserved his goal and talks of how the family at Leeds United have come together for him and the other Welsh lads since international break. Yeah. So that just draws a
exactly what Cree was thinking, wasn't it?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Just before we finish up, I do want to get some man of the match shouts from you. I am going to put forward Sam Byram because he locked off Jaden Philogene today. Like Philogene is a baller, by the way. He's up there with one of the best creative players and goals. We've seen him do the Rabona and all sorts. And every time he tried to get past Byram, it was like, you shall not pass. I think at one point, and I know stats aren't always the barometer, but at one point in that first half, his score on SofaScore was something like 5.6, I think.
It finished at a 5.8 on WhoScored.com.
There you go. So like for Philogene to put up such a poor showing tells you all you need to know. I think Regan Slater, who gave away the penalties, the same score. So that shows you just how poor he was. And for me, Byram, especially when you consider that he couldn't run in the second half and he scored a goal as well. I think for me, apparently he was dribbled past just once, according to Joe Donoghue. So I thought he was phenomenal. And this is why when... Yeah, but just what a buy that guy. Well, not what a free or whatever you want to call it, but yeah, this is why you need squad players. Like when everyone wants to burn everyone. This is why you need squad players. He's coming at the right moment. If Gruev plays, he probably don't play on Saturday. Archie goes back in at right back. But for that moment, he got us off to a great start, and I just thought he locked off Philogene, and it was a great performance. Does anyone agree? And before we get some more different shouts?
Yeah. I was going to say Byron, mate. He used all of his experience and knowledge today to. He had enough of the hype, didn't he, with Philogene? He saw him. He's thought, Philogene's going to rip you apart. He's probably been ripped at training by a few of the lads, and he's thought, right, not today. This ain't happening today. He didn't even give him space, Joe. It was unbelievable. Every time he was on the ball, he tried to turn him. He knew he read which way he was going to go. And if you couldn't run that second half, that is pure experience and understanding where you should be on the pitch. So. Yeah, I thought it was unbelievable. Yeah, and even like in terms of possession, I thought he's one of the better players when we struggled. What a good winger, but unbelievable winger. He's got a massive future ahead of him as Philogene. So to do that to him, maybe humble him a little bit and make you think, look, you still got more to your game to go yet before you're ready for the Prem. That'll help him. But yeah, lovely from Sam Byram. I thought it was excellent.
100%. Yeah. Owen, you're nodding along. Do you have a different shout, or is he yours as well?
No, I thought Sam Byram did well. I think especially, he hasn't played a lot of football recently. Yeah. Daniel Parker did speak after the game against Watford, didn't he, and say that you'd have to assess him to see, whether he was able to play again. And, and if it is that he couldn't genuinely sprint, to keep someone, like Philogene, who's under 21 international, in his back pocket. I mean, yeah, for me, Byram, he gets the opening goal. He follows that up. He puts his body on the line to get that. Yeah, Sam Byram today, he did a great job, and especially after the criticism that he got after the Watford game as well, to bounce back from that. So, yeah, I'm going to go with Sam Byram as well. I thought he was really good today.
Yeah, no, I think that's a great shout. I'm saving JT till last because I think he might have a different shout. Actually, I know. Yeah, come on, let's go on over to Joe and then I'll come to JT.
Surprising everyone, I'm going to go with Patrick Bam. No, I'm not. I'm not taking it that far. I think Sam Byram's probably a good shout. I would say there's also a strong argument for Firpo because the winger on the other flank is no absolute walk in the park either, and I think Firpo would have had a much better day if he hadn't have gotten his customary stupid yellow card really early on. But still, really entertaining. Love to see it when he does it. Rutter had a quietly quite good game as well. He frustrates people when he tries to take people on and it doesn't work. But then when he tries and it works, and then he tries again and it works again, and he tries again and it works again, he ends up setting up a goal for Sam Byram. So I don't think we can complain about that. I think overall, though, on balance of things, I'd say Byram because their best attacking threat was just silenced from start to finish.
Yeah, there's a lot of...
Maradona turn Rutter tried in 95th minute on edge of our box.
Oh, no. This is the moment, so in it, where Farkas talking about when to do it and when not to do it. Do you know what I mean? That's that thing. I said it at the time. I was like, what are you doing, man?
He's just going to rainbow thing.
I mean, it was tactical, though, because when he did that, we kind of lost it for a second and then sprung the counter-attack on because the goalkeeper was running back. Then he saw Rutter do that. So then he came back into the box and suckered them in. And that's when DJ got his goal.
So we're saying Rutter assist on that one as well, yeah?
Genius.
Yeah. I think there's a Perot assist, but yeah.
Turns out Hull fans were singing You Let Your Country Down to Dan James for 90 minutes. So I'm buzzing that he actually scored that one right at the end. JT, everyone's already predicting your pick. Are they right? Is it
Senior Firpo?
Yeah.
Oh, I'd love to, and I'd actually arguably say I thought he was more impressive than Byram in the game. Definitely going forward, I thought Byram. It was close. It was close, but if you look at the work Firpo did, I mean, Firpo
he was great. He was great.
He put that great ball in for Joseph. That again, I think whether you think it wasn't as good a chance as Bamford's, I think he still should have scored. That was a great cross from him. I think going forward he is very good. What I will say about Byram, looks a completely different animal on the right hand side naturally. And this is what I'm saying. When he's playing naturally at right back, it is, going forward, some of his delivery, his crosses were actually very, very good. The ability to get down the channel. And the fact you said that he couldn't run, he was in that much pain, actually gives me a bit of context. And I think, wow, even more impressive. Because I would say, I don't know, maybe I was harsh on him for the goal we conceded. I thought he could have done a little bit better. I thought he was bypassed a little bit easily there. Same with Kamara. But maybe that's just nitpicking and being a little bit too harsh. Otherwise, I thought he was good. But for me, no, man of the match is a simple one. And for me, it's Somerville. Again, I can't look past Somerville. He created the first goal. It was a beautiful run by Rutter, who, again, I agree, is looking back to his best. Not quite there yet, but he's getting there. But Somerville, again, he was running them ragged the entire game. He was one of the few players whose head never dropped. He was one of the few players who got the ball. He's just so great that you don't even realize the great things he's doing. The little triangles he was doing with Firpo and Kamara all game. He was always getting leads on the front foot. He was the one who got Byram's goal. He took it down the byline. He didn't rush his cross. He took the shot in and got deflected in. And the second goal, the penalty, was all him. The run, the dribble down the line. He does this same thing. You'll see it every time we score with Leeds. Yeah, Somerville makes the run down the byline, and right as the ball's about to go off the pitch or the defender is about to get there, he gets that little flick with the outside of his right foot, and he either gets taken down or he gets it past them and gets down the byline and manages to cut it back, and we usually score. But what he did with the penalty, what he did with the goal, it's moments of magic like that win you games. And I thought he was phenomenal throughout the game anyway, so I can't look past Somerville.
That's fair. I think that's a fair shout. Look, everyone, we won. That's the main thing. We're still unbeaten at home. We're still unbeaten in 2024. We're in second place, and if we finish in second place, guess what? We're going to the Premier League. At the end of the day, that's all that matters. It wasn't great. It hasn't been great for 2 games, but ultimately we still haven't been beat. Imagine being Southampton tonight. Let's not forget that. Imagine being Southampton tonight. 1 point in Easter, known now that the top 2's out of sight. So, Chris Kelly's just mentioned there about in the chat, Norwich play Ipswich at the weekend. Ipswich haven't beaten them for 9 years in any competitive game. So some of that. And then we go to Coventry. And we owe Coventry one, by the way. who's celebrating in Leeds train station because they got a point singing songs and that, if I remember rightly. So let's see what they're like when we go down there. But listen, it's been a great day. Mega streams again. Great to have Owen on for his first appearance. Thanks for coming on, Owen.
Thanks, Joe.
Thank you, mate. Sort that Wi-Fi out for next time, buddy.
Will do, yeah. I'll get the hamster to run faster.
Yeah, exactly. Joe Blackburn, obviously, all know Joe. Make sure you go on over there and check him out. JT as well, looking cool as always. And my man, Lockie,
thank you.
looking like a cross between Tom Lockie and Harvey Elliott tonight. One of them either way. Yeah, take it, man.
Looking dapper yourself, man. You're looking dapper
cheers,
yourself.
Mate. Cheers,
You're looking
mate.
good.
Thank you.
And shout out to you. I don't feel like you're getting off credit on these. You say thank you to everyone, so thank you to the host with the most.
That means a lot, mate. That means a lot. Thank you
Put
for
a
that.
shift in today, Joe. You put a shift.
Yeah, man, I enjoy it though. I do enjoy it, but I'm gonna enjoy my sleep now. I can't lie to you.
Another hike the next day.
No, not tomorrow. Back to work she is. So no. We'll see soon. Yeah, I'm in love. Listen, folks. Anyway, smash a like on the video, subscribe to the channel, subscribe to all these great content creators as well. And yeah, please check out Leeds United Nation, new on the scene. Please do. And I'll see you tomorrow. We'll do a final word, maybe something during the day as well. But yeah, have a great evening, and we'll see you in a bit. Peace out.